Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is March 12th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, it's great to be here in Jack's Beach.
It is. It's great to be here. It might be chillier. It finally got a burst of warmth in Maryland. I think it's colder down here, but there is no gold standard in Maryland this weekend, but there is here. So we're pumped to be here. It's been a long time for you.
The last time I was here, I was winning a version of the Creator Classic.
What was that?
The Sawgrass Shootout.
Oh, I remember that. Who was in that?
Zach Blair.
Yeah, I remember him. That's the only person I remember.
Panther Mike.
Okay.
I think Sean Martin was in it.
And where'd you play? Some
I can't
not
remember.
Great
it was
course
not a good golf course.
Great condition.
There's a lot of water, shaky conditions.
All right. Yeah, it's been 8 years for you. I can't even remember last time I came. 23, 22. I think the one that Scotty ended up winning, the first one. So 2 years ago. But we haven't been here together in a long time. We're pumped. It's the gold standard. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for a Players Championship in a while. We were in Ireland last time, this time last year. So
other thing I'm excited about is we got PJ and Joseph, the boys. We're calling them the boys this weekend.
What is this? I've seen you for an hour. I've been here an hour. You said that about 25 times already. The boys.
It's that's what
the Xander thing.
Yeah.
But it's only PJ and Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay.
The boys.
We have yet to go over the golf course, TBC Sawgrass, but the boys were there all day. And they're going to report back their findings, maybe sneak in a nugget or two here in the middle of this podcast. We'll go tomorrow, see if they'll let us in. Very excited to be here. I don't know if the PGA Tour is on a winning streak or feeling good about itself, but I feel like it's set up for a good Players Championship. Do I have evidence to support that? Not necessarily. Just a little gut. Every now and then you got to go with your gut and disregard the analytics.
Check your medal.
Yeah.
Be on your front foot.
Check your medal. Be on the Big J talking today. The course is green as ever. Very green. They got
vibrant.
They got a new tree, but it's an old tree.
Well, it's not. It's a new tree. They cut down the old tree.
It's a new tree that's supposed to be a replica of an original setup.
What do you think about the tree content?
I mean, it's fine, actually. I'm enamored with it. It's better than flower barge content. They moved to May, so the flowers aren't a part of the flower barge isn't a part of the equation anymore. We lost the flower barge when they moved off of May, but it's better than that. I think the tree looks lower. It looks, like you're playing limbo going under there. You got to, maneuver it. It looks a little lower. I just don't understand. They keep talking about how it's 500,000 pounds. Like, how did they ascertain that? What are they counting with that?
Is there a scale that can weigh that weight?
Are they the roots? How do we get the 500,000 pounds?
Here's my question.
It's heavy.
When you take the tree out of the earth, I imagine you're just like, let's get this to the next spot. But do you think that they stop and do a weigh-in before they move it? Is that a common practice with tree moving?
No. Why would they? What is this? The NFL Combine?
This is what I'm trying to get to a roundabout. I don't think that's a real number. I think that's an estimate.
I mean, what portion of the SSG money went into putting this tree in? It doesn't seem like a very cheap exercise.
Did you watch the content of them cutting it? No. They cut down the old one.
Only the
They
screenshot.
just cut it down. Like this beautiful oak tree, they just cut down because the players wanted it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking,
nothing screams PGA Tour more than 10 years ago cutting down a tree.
Because the players asked for it.
And then spending probably I roughly know how much tree movement costs. That thing had to cost $1 million to move.
Sure.
Maybe that's a little high. Maybe like 500 on the low end.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Well, Andy, the players aren't in charge anymore.
That's right.
Fan forward is in charge. Everything.
Listen, fans.
Every single thing this tour does now is dictated by a survey of 50,000 people on the fan council. Every single thing.
PJ got us a pamphlet A pamphlet from the Global Home.
Pamphlet's too short. It's a one-page document.
A one-pager, all about charts. The fan forward
it's
here.
It's a lot of corporate
Those watching
bullshit.
on YouTube can see us holding this up.
Yeah.
There's catchphrases. There's fan feedback. The fan feedbacks: deliver more golf per minute, maximize drama on every hole, make players more relatable, give every event a purpose. So the PGA Tour has taken that feedback and delivered. This is the focus items. Enhanced broadcast presentation.
I can't believe
that includes missing the most important shot of a tournament. Implement.
They're still working out the kinks.
That's right.
They have the intel now. The integration is the next step.
That's right.
So.
Implement competition adjustments.
What does that mean?
Let's see. It says use data and technology to assess player behavior and improve speed of play. Challenge players on the course with more risk-reward shots. I'm excited to talk about this because, the PGA Tour, rather than hire or put somebody in charge to say go out and test the best players in the world, devise plans to test the best players in the world. You know what they're doing? Who they're turning to?
Who?
AI.
Oh, it's the best. I love this. The AI course setup
50% of the
tool.
setup is going to be done by AI. You know what? It's funny because I think this is the secret sauce. Everybody's enamored with your Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it on this pod. Story of the NBA season. Enamored with how good they're playing.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet Kenny Atkinson, he's turned to AI.
It's just AI. That's the whole thing.
He's just the first guy that embraced AI. If we're going to test players, let's turn it over to AI. Let's not just get somebody that is smart and really only thinks about setting up a golf course to test players, to get under their skin, not to appease them, which is the motto of the tour, appease players. Let's hand it over to AI.
Well, it's not just any AI. It's the AI course setup tool brought to you by Morgan Stanley, proud partner. So they got the sales guy in there, elbowed his way into the paint, and we got it branded.
I love that it's branded. I didn't know.
So they
it was
talked
branded.
about this. Jay Monahan talked for a while today. His monologue was scripted, maybe by a different writer this time. I'm told it could have been someone else in the new, somebody else who's into spitballing. In the Global Home, a good monologue, except for
I don't have the soundboard,
except for the very clear lines in there that say the prompts. After look around the room and smile, because he struggled to do that naturally. He would say his monologue, then look down, then look up, and look around and smile. We had a couple clips of that in the internal Slack. Not trying to pile on; it's a tough deal, but the monologue was good. Q&A was just a bunch of deflections that were not exactly well done. I don't.
To be fair,
you can't talk about the deal. I know that. There were some good questions.
Yes.
Though. What do you like about Live? What are the aspects you actually want to integrate? What you just mentioned? You're hoping to ask.
I'll tell you what I would integrate if I were Jay Monahan, PGA Tour. I love what's going on in Singapore with this Champions Dinner that they got going on. The Live. Did you see this?
Yeah, I mean,
Live Singapore hosted a Champions Tour dinner with two champions.
The Smash is the reigning champion. Is that what's fair?
No, it's individual.
Okay. So the last two guys to win in Singapore?
There's been two versions of this event.
God.
So it was Talor and Brooks had a dinner together.
Oh, a one-on-one date. Yes. They got to the one. He got a one-on-one date. Oh, all right.
So
and there was a menu. I saw there was pictures of a menu, like it's the Masters Champions Dinner. And
maybe the Masters Champions Dinner started with the first champion.
I mean,
just having dinner by himself.
That's kind of sad.
Well, this could have been an answer for Jay. I would have loved if this was an answer from Jay. You know what? I saw that Live Singapore had a champions dinner with two champions. And I'd love that'd be like Puerto Rico having a champions dinner. And it's like anybody that's worthwhile has played themselves out of this, this tournament. A lot of other guys have played themselves out of the tour that have won this event. And it's just
Michael Bradley. It's just there by himself. Comes for the meal, right? Oh, like
Oh,
Charles
what a
Cooley or
diversion. This
something.
is a player's preview
So
podcast.
what innovation
What are
tour
we
is
doing?
talking? So this is a monologue he talked about. And then he smiled, looked around. He said, we're doing the AI course setup tool by Morgan Stanley. Now, Josh Carpenter talked to Lee Smith, the closer, legendary closer, got taken
The
deep.
Cardinals closer.
Albert Bell took him deep for a walk-off grand slam in 1995. He's now running the Players Championship. I'd say right now, if we're between 80-20 in terms of art and science on course setup, this tool will move us closer to 50-50. The tool helps rule staff set pin and tee locations before every round via data and expected course conditions, and will be used in subsequent weeks on tour after the players. You know what makes me sad? If we had the AI course setup tool, would we have never had the Ken Duke day? Remember when they lost the greens? It got glassy, and they just didn't expect the humidity to go out.
I will say the AI might have the ability to push it actually a little bit further than
you're coming around on the robots.
Management does.
Yeah. So, anybody.
I mean, country clubs use this stuff like for pins.
Yeah.
Already. But like they use it because it saves time. You're putting on a tournament. This is like something that like is born out of like we want to make setup more efficient.
Well, like
this is an efficiency thing when to me your issue is that you're not putting enough thought into it. You're conducting a tournament for $12 million. What is this week's 25?
The biggest person.
$25 million tournament this week.
Deal.
And you don't have someone that is just like boiling, like just like stewing over how do I make the most compelling setup to best test every aspect of a player's bag. That should be somebody's job week in, week out.
Yeah.
And instead they're turning it over to AI. Like that'd be like me saying
it's 50-50.
How do you think the audience would say if I said I'm going to turn my podcast into 50% AI? I'm going to be here 50% of the time.
I think it would be amusing sometimes. We get the 20% off 20% calculation right. I'd know that, I think, with AI. But we wouldn't, the other stuff might not be. I love that one of the use cases, I can't believe we're leading off with this so long. The use cases is, well, they can tell if it's going to rain, that water may collect in this part of the green and not put a pin there. Do we need the robots to tell us that?
Insanity.
So that's kind of whatever. It's the Morgan Stanley AI course setup tool. That's starting to be put into effect. That's going on. Morgan Stanley. That's put into effect for them. One thing, if it's raining or not raining, especially when it's not raining, you need sunscreen. That's right. I haven't. You know what? You know what can happen? You know what can happen? What? Even on cloudy days, you can get sunburn. Did you know that? Windburn, as they might call it. My dad would call it. Yeah, he would put the fear of God in me growing up. Sometimes those are the worst. I forgot to bring my sunblock. You got extra for me? I do. I'm hesitant to give it to you. You're very you're reckless with it. You overuse it. You make the bottle all schmutzy. There's just stuff everywhere. You're always running around, jumping from one thing to the next. It's never a clean kind of just application into the hand. There's always just schmutz everywhere. But yes, I do have extra. I've got spray, Orson Alps spray, the spray on stuff. Did you bring any of the face and scalp mist for Sep? No, I didn't bring any face. We should get Sep. He may already be signed. I don't want to step on any toes. He may be signed with some substandard shitty sunscreen that I wouldn't recommend. But we may be able to connect the dots here with the Chrome Dome. I'm just worried that with Sep, the price of the brick has gone up because he was number one in Robbie Bolton's power rankings. Yeah, number one. That's PGAtour.com. Let's pause that. Let's finish the ad read and let's get back to that. What is the ad read? What's the code? We get 15% off at Oars and Alps. Oars and Alps, all kinds of products. Like if you are a man, which the vast majority of this audience is not exclusively. It's not exclusive. It's good for anybody. Yeah. I think the general idea was this was designed for men. So gate 1, if you're a man. Okay. What's gate 2? Gate 2
if you need just like hygiene products,
all right. I think
they have a wide suite of products, like a very wide suite, you know?
Yeah.
If you've got,
Soaps.
if you play golf in a swampy area,
yeah,
you can avoid Kyle Reifer's zone with some of their products.
Oh, they do have that kind of thing.
But they also have great, sunblock. They have great moisturizer, deodorant, all kinds of good stuff. This can be your one-stop shop for like almost everything. Body wash. Go to Oars and Alps, like you would row a canoe with. Yeah. Oars and Alps
of a revolution,
like the Great Alps Tour, the Great Challenge Tour.
Matteo Manacero, former winner of the Alps Tour.
Oars and Alps /Shotgun Start. Use the promo code Shotgun15 for 15% off.
I'm glad.
How about Sepp? Top of Robbie Bolton's power rankings for the players.
It's incredible. Finally recognized. Do you think FedEx called that in? They said we need to amplify the prominent position of number one in the FedEx Cup and make him also number one in Ronnie Bolton's power ranking for the gold standard.
I was at dinner with the boys. You hadn't gotten here yet.
Yeah.
And PJ there's a little drama with Robbie Bolton's power rankings.
What's the problem? What's the issue?
Apparently they were a little worried about going live with him.
Who was?
The social team.
Oh, why? Because they thought we would have fun with it, or people would have fun with it?
They were worried about the backlash of having the tank number one in the replies.
The social team. Look at this reporting. You can tell PJ's new to the job, but he knows how to get the goods down there in the media center. He's rummaging around.
You know what? The boys disarm him. They disarm him.
They were anxious about
the replies because the tank was. It went originally. They tweeted out Tank 1, Rory 2, Scotty 3.
Yeah,
and then they deleted that and came back with Tank 1, Scotty 2, Rory 3.
Is that the real rankings?
I don't know.
Were just trying.
Nobody knows. Okay. They were gun shy about putting Rob's numbers, which are listen. This guy.
I love the editorial.
Rank the historical Texas Open field.
Yeah.
The power rankings for the greatest Texas Open players of all time. Yeah. Charlie Hoffman is that. And you might wonder, why is Charlie Hoffman still playing on the PGA Tour? Well, nobody in the history of golf, not Ben Hogan, not Ben Crenshaw, nobody's been better at the Texas Open than Charlie Hoffman.
That's fair. All right. I mean, this put the power rankings in a new light for me. I can't believe that he did it.
It's must-see stuff.
Why did he? What was the rationalization? He makes birdies. He's good tee to green. What's the deal there?
I think he's the number one player in the world.
That's fair. He's
the top of the most important standings in golf, the FedEx Cup, and that's respect. Listen, as a fellow, wannabe sharp, I think Bolton you might put in the sharp category based off of his long tenure at the tour as the sharp.
Yeah, he's been doing it forever.
We got to tip the hat. He put himself out there.
Put a marker down. Yeah, he took it. Yeah, I love that. Who could just, everybody's going to do Rory, Scotty, Xander, Colin, but he goes Tank 1. I love it on the PGA Tour's own platform.
Let's get a little bit to the players, but this I'm going to transition. This is going to be a pro transition here. Okay. I was rummaging around today on my long cross country flight. Yeah, the OWGR. Uh-huh. I was rummaging around, and I didn't have to rummage very far to see that the tank is up to 13 in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he's won like 3 or 4 times in the last 2.5 years. No,
he's way up there.
Yeah.
But I was looking around. I have 2 questions for you. Question number 1. Who does a win here matter most for?
Okay.
Question number 2. Which player needs a win here the most?
What's the distinction there?
I think like this win, right to the top of it's like this would be a statement of like who this player is. Like to me, if a player like Tank wins this week,
sure,
it is like, wait, we need to rethink who this guy is.
Okay.
But what player most needs a win could be, as an example, I'm not saying this is mine, could be Colin Morikawa because he just has not won a golf tournament for a while.
Sure.
And he's this lofty player. So
sure.
Who does a win most matter like here for, like for their career and the way we talk about them as a player? This is how I rumbled into
probably like Peter Malnati.
That's not going to change the way we talk about him at all.
Why would it? Why wouldn't it?
What are we going to say?
He's a players champion.
What are we going to say? He's like instead of a below average player, he's an average player that
won the players championship
championship
with a yellow ball.
How about his glasses?
He's getting edgy with his glasses. That has been eradicated here in the last decade with the Tim Clark, the Freddie Funk, that kind of the players win. Our guy Perksy, our Cajun Kiwi, the guy we love. In the last decade, there just hasn't been. I think there was pretty much since I want to say Ricky.
Well, Keimer was around there.
Keimer was when Keimer was kicking ass. I think that was 14. So it's really been. That's what I love about the players. It's like volatile for like the best players in the world. Like nobody has like an awesome track record here, right? Like you get some MCs, even the best. But
you could basically go back to 2011. 2011's KJ Choi, great worldwide player. Kuchar.
I guess Siwoo Kim. I know you love Siwoo, but he would be considered sort of the rand out of nowhere winner.
How dare you?
I know.
How?
But he was a good player. He had won, and he was a good player. I just
PJ, who was doing the Siwoo Kim celebration the other night? Was it a St. John's player?
Yeah, the Stephen Curry has been rebranded as Siwoo. Yeah. It's there's like volatility within the best players in the world, but not volatility within a best player in the world winning. Does that make sense?
I think the only person, and I won't stand for it, I will not stand for Siwoo Kim being described as a fluke, but he is the only person that you could even make a case for since Tim Clark in 2010.
Because if you look at these guys, I guess Scotty's kind of got it figured out, but like Xander will MC, right? These guys will kind of bounce around, but then like it's still producing all these top, player in the world winners. Who would it define their career?
Like just right now in the moment, in the vacuum of golf, who would it just elevate?
I feel like you have someone in mind.
I have mine. I wrote about this in the newsletter.
Okay. Well,
so I was asking you. I can say mine if you want.
Peppy Peter, I thought was a pretty good answer.
That's just such a cop-out, taking somebody that is just happy to be here and saying they're going to win.
What?
You have to take like a realistic player. All right, mine is Ludwig.
Okay.
And I think like he's got like a high opinion. Like people are like, is this? I think like right. Everybody's fairly certain. There's a lot of great young players in the world. Like there are a lot of really good young players. A lot of great sub 25 players. And I think he's at the top of everybody's list. I think if he wins this week, he moves into, is this guy? And I think that people are already asking this question, but like we are fairly certain that we are watching someone who could be a generational player.
Sure.
And I think like a lot of people probably are already there, but this win would just ascend him into the one name, and like, he won the Genesis, huge win, but winning the Players is just a whole different level of a win.
I guess I'm starting to understand, the distinction here.
You're starting to understand the prompt.
Ludwig example. Yeah. I would throw Zalatoris sort of in there, but he might be in the needs a win category, which you're telling me about.
Well,
he could be. Spieth, I think Spieth's 3-time major winner.
I think he'd be in the need bucket.
Yeah, I think.
But I would unlikely put him in the going to happen bucket.
I think Finau would be a kind of a good one. I think a guy who needs he's won some. A win's a win. We just talked about it with Russell Henley and Morikawa and how hard it is to win. But he's got some garbage wins. Let's just be honest. He's just got some garbage wins on that resume. Got some okay ones too. He could use it. That'll be my answer. Finau would be a good one. Kind of redefines a career for a bit.
I think too, like if you think about Finau's career, he's won a bunch. He has played on a ton of international teams. Like a bona fide, like that is a marker of a bona fide great player if you follow the Garrett Morrison model, that's what I'm going to call it now, with the players as a half a major, which I do actually really like. Finau's career makes more sense because he's been like a top 15 favorite in majors for probably 7 years running. Now, which is like he's been really good for a really long time, but he just doesn't have. He's got playoff wins, but he does not have like a bona fide. Despite being in the mix, like could win on the back nine of numerous majors.
Sure. The needs to win is just, I mean, that's a big bucket.
Oh, it's a huge bucket. Which way are you going to go?
Speed, Zalatoris, Colin, you mentioned. I think Morikawa is probably. JT could use one. What's going on with Justin Thomas? He's
I think he's playing really good golf, though.
I agree, but he's so not in the class of the top whatever.
Far from it.
4 to 5 guys, right? Maybe certainly not top 3.
I do think though, so like that top tier is just so hard to get to.
Yeah.
Like, I think you probably, if you said it was what's the top tier in golf? It's Scotty, Rory, Xander. Do you go Rahm?
No.
I think you could make a case Rahm's there. Personally,
sure, absolutely. I just don't know.
I don't think you can put Morikawa there. I think Ludwig's probably closer to there than Morikawa.
Yeah.
But like from there, I think the cliff is like really far, and like JT might be in like that 3rd tier. Or he might be in the bottom of the 2nd tier. Yeah, but like he's been really impressive this year.
Super interesting to hear him talk today about like I'm not going to try to measure myself against Scotty. Like I can't. Like the way Rory was talking about it after Pebble. He's like, I want to play Scotty Scheffler golf or incorporate more elements of Scotty. He's just like, if I try to like watch the physical game, that's not good. I'm not going to try to hit be that right now. But like he said, playing with him with the hero, like I can be better mentally. Like I can get I want to incorporate elements of that where like I am not, you're remaining cool and calm and all these other things that Scotty's sort of deadpan, doesn't get overly aggressive, doesn't get like worked up. Like I really got to go at this. And so it was interesting to hear, a peer, a colleague, a guy who's I think they've won the same amount of majors, right? At this point. Talk about like, how can I be like him? And where I shouldn't even try to be like him because it'll send me down maybe a dark path. Yeah, he could use one. He's playing good golf though. He's playing really good golf this year. Who's your need to win guy?
A little more on JT. Okay. Just overall state of golf where we're at right now that I think is interesting is that Scotty Scheffler reset the level of golf last year.
Sure.
And I talked a little bit with Jeff Ogilvy about this on the Fried Egg Pod that goes up tomorrow as well. But he redefined the highest level of golf last year. And I think like the thing that all these guys are hyper competitive and they are nuts. Like you don't get to the top 10 players in the world without like extraordinary drive. And for all the people over the years that used to dog Dustin and say that he wasn't trying, we now see what not trying really looks like. Trying. Okay. Yeah. You don't show up. Yeah. Like one of the biggest misnomers in golf is that you can just show up and be a top 10 player in the world.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things I think with Scotty redefining this level of play is that all these other guys are looking at Scotty and like, they're like, shit, I need to be better. Rory McIlroy probably never thought in the last 10 years that he wasn't the best player in the world. Last year, he knew he wasn't the best player in the world. Mm-hmm. Like all these guys are going to raise the level of their games. JT, who's a world-class player, is talking about like, how do I get better? Because I see what Scotty's doing and I need to be better to compete with that, Yeah. So I think like when you just look at the game of golf, like this level, that elite level I think this year, like, is going to be a step up. It's going to make it harder for Scotty to win as much, not just because of it's hard to win that much, but it's going to be harder because I think everybody's leveling up.
I think that's true. I think where you can get into trouble is just, I mean, feeling that pressure or getting anxious about it. I think like there's some fine line between, I would say, Xander. Xander was very, very good. He wasn't winning. He wasn't winning majors. He was like awesome. He was in all of them. He was hanging around. And so like, you're a good golfer. You're in it. Don't freak out. And you're going to run into them and they'll start falling. Like, what is that fine line, right? Between, holy shit, I'm not going to catch Scotty, but how can I approximate him? And just like continuing to be who you are if you're pretty good, and you might run into them.
I agree.
Finding that.
I agree. And I just think that it's human nature to get a little complacent.
Right.
And I think Scotty last year is going to be a shock to the system for all these guys. And all these guys are trying to figure out how to marginally get better. It's not about maintaining the level that they're at, that they might have been in maintenance mode. Yeah. Now it is like, I need to push to be fractionally better in every aspect of the game. My answer is Patrick Cantlay.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, he's been like a top 10 player in the world for basically like 6 or 7 straight years. He has the most weeks in the top 10 in the world golf rankings of basically any active player without a major. You know, if you take out like Lee Westwood, he's not active anymore. The Magic Sticks are a disgrace to live. If Ricky Fowler and him are basically at the top. Ricky as a players.
Yeah.
Patrick Cantlay doesn't have anything like you just talked about. Finau, he's got a lot of wins, not a lot like Patrick Cantlay's
playoff wins.
Yeah,
he feasts in the playoffs.
Well, he's got a FedEx Cup win too.
Yes,
he's got a net championship.
He does.
But I think to me, like Patrick Cantlay, we're kind of at a crossroads, a little bit of like, is Patrick Cantlay still this like elite player? Like, I have like questions about like where is he right now in the game, because he's all the way down to 17th in the world. He hadn't been outside the top 10 for years.
Right. He needs something to happen. I don't know.
Like people are like Morikawa.
Yeah.
But Morikawa's 4 in the world.
Top 5 player. Yeah.
He's been knocking on the door. Like we haven't seen great golf from Patrick Cantlay outside of team competitions.
Then I guess if we're looking for that, I might go like a Zalatoris. He could use it. He could use a like a banner win. I know he's got the FedEx St. June. He beat the Tank, number 1 player in the world, beat back in Memphis back then. But right. Yeah, I'll throw Zalatoris.
Not a lot of guys have beaten Tank. Squared off against the Tank and won. Took him down in the Oklahoma drill.
Do you want to do one and done picks while we're here? Lock them in.
Or favorite tee times.
Either one.
Let's go favorite tee times.
Okay, favorite tee times.
Let's set the table.
We're just going to get this on the board here early. The 9:41 tee time on number 1 tee, last anchor of the wave, last tee time of the morning wave. Alejandro Tosti, Isaiah Salinda, who you love, a lot of people love. He's kind of a hipster pick of like the Stanford stud. Isaiah Salinda and Aldridge Potgieter. So you have the burly boy Potgieter and the fiery little Argentine Tosti together. Balls just spraying hither and yon. They're just wailing away, coming out of your shoes. That's electric.
This seems like they knew we were coming to town, and they put this together for us.
Well, we know we can give out one extra inside the roast batch to them because they're going to be just following that group that nobody's going to be on. So
I was, I was talking to a source today, source, and they assured me that was not the case. But this just seems like this is too good to be true. The Toasty pairing.
Toasty's been.
You see, he was making Victor Hovland do push-ups.
No,
I saw on his Instagram feed. He was playing a practice round with Hovland.
Yeah,
must have lost a bet. Hovland lost a bet. Okay. And he was doing push-ups, so he's getting chummy with Hovland.
I like it.
I wonder if the Chipmunk's lurking around, because we saw what the Chipmunk did with Michael Kim.
He did.
And that's one of my pairings here.
Who's he with?
Michael Kim, Alex Smalley, and Sam Stevens. This feels
Why do you like that?
disrespectful to Michael Kim.
Why?
He's like one of the 20 best players in the world right now.
This very second. You see, Paulie's picks, friedegg.com, has him against Spieth head-to-head. That's where he's finding value, according to Paulie.
I like that.
Take Mike Kim.
I just got a brand new, maybe not, it's a slightly used Michael Kim bobblehead to my house.
Slightly. How is a bobblehead used? It's not. It's just on the shelf. Okay. All right.
It's
Got it.
My daughter immediately grabbed it and tried to rip the head off.
Sure,
I was like, no,
that's how it happened. Yeah.
That's
What's another tea time you like?
All right. I got some.
We only do this for majors. Is the Players a major now that we're doing favorite tea times?
It's not a major in my book. Here's why it's not a major.
I want to hear this. I'm teeing you up. I want this on the record. Trying to get this out of you.
If I were a player that was thinking about winning a golf tournament, one of the things that you might do with your practice round schedule is you would want to get the feel of playing a late round on the back nine.
Late sun, late in the day.
Yeah, how the shadows hit the greens, what it's like to read the greens.
Sure.
How the ball flies, especially like with 16, 17, 18, like you need to be like 17, you have to be very precise. Like you want to approximate that the way that golf course and your golf game is going to react to it.
Sure.
And like you see this, you see guys play late.
Now this
late
is
Sunday
at the Masters every
Masters
year.
Yeah.
Yes. Still,
you see this late on Wednesday at the Masters. Guys going out for a stroll on the back nine. You see it at the U.S. Open often. Late practice rounds Wednesday afternoon on the back nine.
Yeah.
You can't play one this Wednesday at TPC Sawgrass. It's closed to players in the afternoon.
Why? What happened? They're just
$25 million tournament in the back nine is closed on Wednesday afternoon because the Creator Classic. So thus.
Not a major.
It is not a major.
That's not happening.
It's not a major championship.
They're not doing the concert. PJ had firsthand story, color.
You want to pop in here, PJ?
You were on 17. There's guys trying to play practice around it. Who's the country bro, the beefcake they had out there? Luke Bryan or
Jordan Davis, close personal friend of Jordan Spieth. They hit shots on 17 together.
Do you think they bonded because both their names were Jordan?
I feel like that's got to be part of it.
I feel like whenever I meat an Andy, I'm like, good name.
So what happened? Were guys trying to play and this guy's saying, is this the guy who sings "Buy Dirt"?
Yes.
All right.
Wow. wait, like BUY Dirt?
Yes, like purchase. Yes, purchase.
Oh, I'm gonna listen to the song. I'm interested.
Yeah. So there was a large gathering. I know I put up the picture at probably maybe noon, that people were already out there setting up in front of the stage.
Were they getting their blankets down?
Oh yeah. Not watching practice, just directly in front of the stage, which is about halfway through the 17th hole. By like 3:30 for a 5:00 concert, I would say it's like packed, like sardines. Like people are ready, getting ready
big
to go.
Act, right? This is the Chainsmokers paved the way for this.
Country guy, go ahead.
So he nothing. They start with a flyover for Military Appreciation Day, very loud flyover, and then they start firing up the big band comes on. He's got like 3 guitarists, drummer, like a lot of noise going on. Victor Hovland's just on 16, like yards away from this happening, just trying to finish his practice round, man, and then just has to skip 17 because he can't hit over the concert, and he goes to 18, and there's just guys singing his one of his like 8 number ones. He kept on hammering home that he's had 8 number ones on country radio, and he's doing a cover of like The Fray as Victor Hovland and Ben Griffin are coming up 18.
What was the
and
phrase song? What was the phrase?
No, it was Cable Car, the song he was doing. Over my head. But he did a medley of 2006. He was like, 2006 is my favorite year of music. He did a medley of songs from 2006.
You got the Killers in there?
I forget what the other 2 songs.
Disappoint the audience. They come to see Jordan Davis.
They just want Buy Dirt.
Yeah.
Well, he bought Dirt. I did hear that for sure.
All right. So again, more evidence, maybe not a major. Victor can't play. He's ducking and dodging 2006 hits.
17th hole. very important hole in the tournament comes Sunday.
I mean, this is important betting information.
Yeah.
Didn't get to, practice as much as he would have liked on 17.
Yes or no? Victor Hovland will be playing on Sunday at any point.
I'm going to go yes.
Okay. All right. So,
No.
sounded not good at Bay Hill. Sounded not good. He was bad there.
I'm a Victor optimist. I
am
think
too. I would
he's
like.
gonna dig it out.
He's maybe in the need to win category. He's in there.
I think it's not need to win. He just needs to
compete.
Needs to be somewhere on the leaderboard.
Yeah. All right. So you can't play a practice round Wednesday. You can't play Tuesday without just
so.
Hitting through the smoke. Didn't you say smoke was going on?
Yeah, they were like fired up for this big concert, and just poor Victor Hovland was he goes right through the tunnel to get to the 18th tee. There were so many people there. I was astounded by how many people were there for Jordan Davis.
I thought it was the chain smokers according to our social feed.
Well, it's chain smokers in perpetuity around here. It's chain smokers forever. So I feel bad for Victor Hovland. I hope it doesn't. He did hit his drive way right on 18 into the pine straw. So we'll see how that goes for him.
That happens. All right. So not a major for this.
Favorite
feature
groups. Favorite groups here.
I mean, how could you not be involved, not be enthralled with Peter Malnati, Kurt Kitayama, and Taylor Pendrith? The Kitty Cat, Pepe Peter, and then Pendy. Just a great collection.
I had this earmarked. I'm worried about Pendy in the 17th.
What about it?
It's a par 3 with water.
No, God, stop.
Another 17th with water. And Montreal really gave him trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know how these pairings work? Do you know how there's rules around pairings?
There are, but they I mean,
I think it's pretty strict.
Would they follow the rule that Joe LaCava and Joey the Fourth have to be together? There's no rules. They just bake the cake how they want to bake.
Let me just get to what the rules are.
Yeah.
The category 1, you have to be a category 1 golfer.
Which means
to get into a top group.
Means you have X number of followers on his.
No. Category 1s, you get to East Lake, or you've won and you're within your exemption window.
Yes.
So if you win certain events, it's a 3-year. If you won the Players, it's a 5-year, which you might have an extra COVID year.
Yeah.
But if you win Puerto Rico, you're in there.
Right.
If you win Dominican Republic, you're in there. So, with this in mind, I attempted to find the worst category 1 group.
Okay, who is it?
The worst category 1 group is Bryce Garnett, Matthew Pavon, and Camilo Villegas.
Oh, come on.
This was a total. We don't know where to put these guys. They're category 1s.
Yeah.
We have to put them in there. And what made me think about this was I saw Cam Young, Sam Burns, and Carl Phillips.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, how did Carl Phillips get into this group with Sam Burns and Cam Young? And then I remembered, you are a category 1 player for winning Puerto Rico.
Well, that's fine. It's fine. Garnett, that's what he won too.
Garnett won Puerto Rico, but he won it last year.
So he's still within his window. Yeah.
It's not even the current year. It's 2 years. You get 2 years in category 1.
Yeah.
So you can't be in a featured pairing unless you're a category 1. They effectively have a tee time cast system on the PGA Tour. If I was a mule, this is something I might be mad about.
Mule's got plenty of mad about it. I think this is just not needs to be high on the list.
So then I thought about, what's the worst tee time out there?
Oh God,
what's your worst tee time? This is a constant staple of tee times.
Yeah, this feels mean. Spawn, Bridgman, Chandler, Phillips in there.
I thought that, and I don't want to do this to, a fellow brother, Dratty. But Jesper Svensson, Will Chandler, and Hayden Springer. I dubbed this the Thankful We Are Here group. Will Chandler's the first alternate at Valspar.
Yes. There are guys in this field who are not in the Valspar.
What is going on?
Bud Cauley got in. Hayden Springer doesn't have full status. Bud Cauley got in off the alternate. He's not like a full-time player.
How are you in the players and you can't get into the Valspar the next week?
Because it's like it's current FedEx season. Yeah, I've had this debate. Yeah, he's not in the Valspar. You have alternates for next week who are in the field.
This doesn't make any sense.
Bud Cauley, Matty Schmid, and they don't even have his name right. They have him as Davis Skins. It's David Skins, I believe. God. He's not in the Davis zone. So they don't even have him right on the tee sheet on PGAtour.com.
Australians do not name their kids Davis.
David Skins, neither David nor Davis Skin is Australian.
Isn't David Skins from Australia?
No, definitely not. I think he's from England. We could both be wrong.
He is England.
We could both be wrong.
God, I was wrong.
English don't name their kids Davis either. I don't think.
I'm getting old.
That's fine. But so to your point, I've brought this argument to several of my colleagues in the media. Like, you can't be having like Bud Cauley doesn't have full stat. Like, you can't. This is like, they're like, well, it's always bad. The bottom of the board, this is always going to be not bad, pretty bad. Lamagna was talking to me. I had other people. I'm convinced. I came around to it. Another person I talked to. Look, it's loaded. They have everybody here that needs to be here.
No,
and the bottom
they don't have Bryson.
They don't have Bryson. They don't have Rahm.
It doesn't seem like we're going anywhere close to having those guys.
Who did they jam Cantor with? Did they put him with anybody?
I meant to.
Ryo Hisatsuni and Trey Mullinax. You see, Mullinax has a big Mountain Dew bag.
Oh, that's sick.
It's like throwing it back to like when, Cheerios and all these random like food brands, Nabisco.
What a collaboration. Wilson and Mountain Dew.
It's a giant Mountain Dew bag. Mullinax is with Laurie Cantor and Ryo Hisatsuni. So yeah, the bottom of the field, doesn't scream major, but the PGA has club pros. USGA has, sectional qualifiers. Same for the Open's going to have Marco Penje, who just won, finished T4 last week or whatever it was. So that happens. It's just, there are some names that make you scratch your head and go, huh.
What are your favorite tee times?
I like the Pepe and Kurt Kitty Cat.
Is that who you're going to follow?
No, I mean, Morikawa, Adam Scott, Fleetwood is a delightful one. That's a real like ball knowers kind of.
I put Flusher's Paradise.
Yeah. Tommy will do it someday, I'm sure.
How about the sub 23-year-old championship?
Who's that?
Group? We got Dunlap, Akshay, and Tom Kim. All under, all 23 and under.
Yeah, they've all won.
Got a little cheeky with the sub 23 championship here.
It's a good group.
It's a good group.
What
about the Tank and Dietrich?
It's a good one for you.
Two best golf universities on the PGA Tour this year, duking it out head to head.
Continental Europeans as well.
Yeah,
they'll be together. Maybe at Bethpage.
Could be do you think that Luke Donald arranged that? Do you think he tried to get in the field with the sponsors exemption so you could see him up close?
Maybe that's what happened. You know what I hate?
The third in there is Boomy's own Nick Taylor.
Who's he with?
He's with Dietrich and Sepp.
Okay. You know who's going to be a cranky group? Lucas Glover and Patton Kazire together. Just two lumbering. Those guys get cranky. All right. Patton's gotten really angry on the golf course and in public. God. And Corey Connors, just sort of the unassuming Canadian, got thrown in with that.
If golf ever went to a pay-per-view, like fully mic'd up, every player, every round, where you could just listen to a conversation, I'll tell you what, the Lucas Patton conversation could go a lot of directions.
Yeah. Directions that the microphones don't want to. Yeah. How about Lashley, Will Gordon? I didn't even know Will Gordon was still on the tour.
Speed Demon.
Rico Hoey. So that's an interesting one.
Wait, Lashley,
Will Gordon, and Rico Hoey.
God, Lashley's going to be like 50 behind him all day.
Max Homa is now with Bobby Mack and Sanjay. It's an interesting one. You know what the group I hate? I just hate
Rory, Scotty, and Xander. It's unnecessary.
I don't like it. Just jamming them all together. It just seems
it's just like the other thing is what it does when you put a group like that together is it takes the oxygen away from the rest of the golf course and the rest of the event.
Yeah.
Because like you get like I think golf tournaments, and this is what the Masters has that works so well, is everybody's spread out. And so there's energy in every part of the golf course. And when you do one of those super groups, it just like makes this like energy so focal in one spot that the rest of the golf course, like if they're playing 4, that group, if they're playing 4, you could go to like 13 and there won't be anybody there, you know?
Right.
But if you spread those 3 players out into 3 groups across the tee sheet, you get the energy everywhere, because like those are 3 players that, especially Scotty and Rory. I don't think Xander has like as much of a following. I'm not trying to say that disrespectfully. I just don't think he has as many fans right now. But Scotty and Rory are going to draw huge crowds themselves. Mm-hmm. And like you're actually like diluting the spectator experience by putting them together. That'll happen. Because it makes it like so insanely hard to watch them. Now, what it does do is it makes the TV a lot easier on the boys from NBC who are struggling right now to just get shots on camera.
Come on, they've got everybody here. They'll be it's on. I'm not even doing schedule for the week. It's on everywhere all the time.
This is one of the events. We should see all the stops pulled out this week.
Yeah, I think you probably will. You probably will.
They're one of the biggest sponsors here. I was on the plane sitting next to 2 guys, guests of Comcast Business. They couldn't wait. They could not wait. I was sitting on the plane just hoping they didn't ask me any questions about golf.
Yeah. There's a lot of Billy Boys at Comcast Business in bed. He was all over the airport when I was coming in. He did Comcast Business, this, that, and the other.
So it's just a big event for the Comcast NBC SpinCo operation.
It's a big one for them. So it's on. Every group is live on whatever ESPN Plus. They've got every shot. I think that is up and running again. It's on all the time, everywhere.
Other great pairing.
Yep.
Ludwig, Hideki, JT.
It's a great one.
That's like, I mean, to me, like that's an example. That's a great group, but not an overwhelmingly great group.
It's a great group.
It's a great group, but like, why can't we get like, just for example, like what if you had gone Rory, Fleetwood, and
Phillips?
Well, he's category 1. He could go in there.
Yeah.
Rory, Fleetwood, and Billy Boy. Like that. That's a really good group.
Something the Masters would do. It's like how the Masters.
There's balance.
Yeah.
It's under. You know what this is? Pairings, much like course setup, requires like a great
some art.
Like an art. It's like a chef.
Yeah.
Putting together, like knowing what the perfect amount of flavor you need in the group.
Yep.
And it's not just like throw the 3 best players in the world together. Like, yeah, you're going to win Twitter, but you're going to lose the overall product.
Yeah. Do you have a one and done pick for this week?
Yes, I do.
I want to talk about the golf course at length here in a minute, but
we got to get PJ in.
We got to get
Big
J's press conference too.
Notoriously unpredictable place to pick.
Very hard.
One of the longtime stalwarts is now unavailable, even though he's playing some of the best golf in the world. Sergio, one of the most reliable
always done
TPC Sawgrass picks, was always just take Sergio there. He's like the only reliable one.
Yep.
I'm going to go with another flusher who might struggle to get it done on Sunday. I'm just trying to minimize my potential for a negative result.
Week for one and done.
Patrick Cantlay would be excited about me talking about expected value here.
Jumbo purse.
Yes. Yeah, I'm talking about EV before I make my pick. I want a high floor player here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Tommy Fleetwood.
Jumbo purse. This is the biggest purse. So it's a big week for one and done here.
I don't feel good about him taking home the biggest share of the purse, but I have a good feeling about him taking a big share of the purse.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
The other person that I was really contemplating kicking around was Hideki, because he's the 2020 champion, the unrecognized championship that he won.
The 63 was it?
Yeah,
63?
the Friday 63. But that's who I'm going. You know, there's a lot of depth that you could go in. I think the Tank's a good pick here.
He is a good pick. There's a lot of options that feel like super chalky, right? Oh, let's just get the best ball strikers. It's approach players course. You know, Scheffler's obviously exhibited that the last 2 years.
That's one of the reasons I almost went Hideki, is because of his ability to get up and down, because it's really, really hard when you miss the green here.
Yes.
And short game is like a very, very,
it's a big deal.
Great skill to have, because like some of the surrounds are very severe.
Some goofy shit going on. Some humps and bumps and pot bunkers, obviously. Like I think about 9 all the time. If you go for it in 2 and you miss there, like you could be in some funky lie. Yeah, I love it. I'll talk about the course here in a minute, but I'm going chalky. Maybe not the best short game. I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I just think it's the best pick. It's Colin Morikawa. I think it's a great pick after last week. I think he's obviously been playing great golf. You talk about sort of like he's going to get you something. You're trying to avoid the total flame out. You know, there was a lot of drama about him not talking to the press, I guess. We were podcasting Sunday. He did not talk after Bay Hill.
Doesn't owe it to anybody.
And he said, I don't owe it to anyone.
Well, you do, Colin, because you get paid to be a professional golfer, which entails some responsibility to
he got
the product.
Crushed on television for it tonight. I mean, I think some of that's a little like overdone. I think you do. You should. Yeah, pull up a chair, PJ. Brandel was going nuts about it. McGinley was talking about how the modern player is not winning over fans, and people out there don't like them. I thought Eamon Lynch made a good point in the day about like in the same press conference.
PJ just pointed to the fan. Make
players
more relatable.
Yeah, that's a fan forward initiative.
In that press conference, he talked about how they play for so much money. Says we play for so much money, then comes around and says, I don't owe you anything. Right? So like those 2 points are connected. You play for so much money, then you owe. There's a reciprocity that has to happen there.
Make a point. This is a natural. This is a naturally occurring issue amongst young men who fly private within 1 year of graduating college. Who fly private everywhere.
Dogs have yes. Booties on.
This is a naturally occurring risk of being a young male.
To make this a Morikawa hate fest.
I just want to point it out. He's not the only one. Like I think like this is just a natural trap to fall into when you have everybody around you. Like I do actually, I sympathize with like the idea of a young star golfer, because you have everybody around you has only told you nobody ever tells you do something stupid. Ever. They only tell you how great you are. And this is the exact product of that. I think Colin Morikawa is kind of like a spitting image of this.
I think Morikawa has been coached a little overcoached at times. I think that's kind of been fading away, and he's become much more like whoever he really is. I don't really have a problem. I don't have the same problem with him not talking to the press after he loses.
I don't have
the quote. I don't owe anybody anything. That's not a winner. That's never going to be a winner, even if it's any part of it is true. It's just not going to come across. That was bad. I think like you should probably talk to the press. It's an important historical document. That's what the money's for. That's what the rights deal's for. There's a lot of reasons, and Rory got crushed for it after Pinehurst, more or less. I thought it was okay that he didn't there. I think it's okay that Morikawa didn't here.
I'm generally
I don't want it to be a trend.
Like when you have like a crushing loss.
I think,
I can understand.
Well,
right. It's nice though when they do talk, because you get some of the best answers. And like what some of these players need to realize is that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Letting fans see the pain that you're in is going to be a huge win for you, because like people are going to be like, wow, like that's how I felt when I lost the C flight of the club championship when I missed a 2-footer on 18. Yeah. But it's relatable.
I know
that is relatable for anybody that plays golf. Like anybody that's played golf at any level, like anybody that's played a match against a friend and fumbled it down the stretch knows the feeling of when you lose something that you want to win. And that's like, no matter if you're playing for $5 million or $4 million, whatever the hell the purse is or the winner's share is this week, or whether you're playing for $1 or nothing, you're just playing your friend and you're competitive. It's the same feeling. And that's like the thing, like being open. And I'm like, I understand why, and I respect not letting people in. It's hard to let people in, but that also is an amazing opportunity for you as an athlete.
I think you should be obligated to do it. The NFL, they have to do it. You have to do it. And like, I'm not going to crush them. I thought the people crushing him are a little over the top, but this gets to be like a real inside baseball journalism. But like, this is what the money's for. It's also very important, like to history, to get those on the spot. Like, what was your thoughts, reactions, emotions? Now he was great today. Now, having processed it for 2 and 3 days, he was also great today. Like, I think you could probably do both. I don't know.
Anyways, I think one of the issues,
I don't know you anything, was not great.
One of the issues that golf has is like, it requires other sports, for the most part, like the winner wins and they talk to the winner. In golf, like they try and get this right after, like the raw, like in all the other sports, you go to the locker room and you're in the locker room for what, PJ, you're 30 minutes?
Yeah, at least 20 generally.
I think if you gave most of these players 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
They go scoring, maybe it's closer to less than 10, probably.
It's like that helps a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
With it. But there's also like just the coddling, like you said, of like, this is the way it goes in other sports. And maybe that's why this golf course is great for Colin Morikawa, if we want to get back.
No. This is why I love Morikawa. I mean,
there's a lot of places you can't get to because of distance. There are a lot of fairways that are cut.
Yes.
Like a great example is 9.
9, yes.
Par 5, like you are restricted. 15, you're restricted.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of holes where distance is mitigated because of the way that the water crosses, and it's one of the reasons that this course has withstood. You could call it a demerit because you could say you don't have to drive it. Like you could get away with not driving it, like being a great driver of the golf ball, because you can. Yeah.
We've seen that the last couple of years.
You can mask it because like driver's less important here so like driving distance is less important here. So Morikawa,
good driving though is not.
Good driving is highly rewarded.
Yes.
Good off the tee play, whether it's with a 3-wood, a long iron, a driver. Morikawa, like everybody plays from the same spot on 9 into a par 5. When you're 40, 50 yards shorter than Rory McIlroy, like Colin Morikawa is, if they both go full flaps at it, right? That's a huge advantage for you on a par 5, because if you're Colin Morikawa, you probably feel like you have an advantage on Rory from 250 in it.
Yeah. I mean, you are starting though with like the overseed and everything. I like Rory's on the record with this. Like you can be more aggressive than maybe obviously May. It's just like get the ball on the ground and get it running. So it hasn't been as firm in March, right? And then the overseed obviously makes it, I think, like a little easier, right? When it goes to chip it to recover from, and then obviously, it's just there is a little bit more aggression than in the prior era. Anyways, we're way off. I think there's like that's why I love it. You have to be a good off the tee player here, but it's not like you can gain a massive advantage if you're excellent off the tee, right? But like approach play is it's really the whole bag, except for do these greens stink? They're not like exceptional.
They've been very sanitized.
Okay. That's the only thing where it kind of,
it didn't happen, but what probably the greens represent, what AI would maybe do to
what AI would at this point. Anyways, this is why
They're very
jacked
fair.
up. I'm so jacked up for this. I think like we just don't get this anymore. Like if you are a great driver, you will get an advantage here, because if you can keep it into these narrow corridors and you want to do it, go for it. And you get a distinct advantage over those who can't.
Big misses are penalized big.
Totally. Water, whatever it is. But then like everybody, like you can't hide. You have to be an approach player too, even if you do have that big off the tee advantage.
And the margins are so small, you're bound to miss. So you need to have the requisite short game to get up and down. It is a supreme all around test.
You're gonna miss.
Yes.
You're gonna miss those greens. So you also got to be able. So that's why I've been like it's always been this way. It's obviously changed with time and seasons where May, March, all this stuff. But it feels like one of those courses that stood the test of time, but also you can hit driver. It's not like totally out of your hands. Might be if you're really, really good and confident, you can hit driver. You're still going to have to hit your irons, even if you're great at driving.
With the golf course, before we get to PJ's pick, I like everybody. It's become like so hipster.
Yeah.
Listen, like I would love to see it brought back to the way it used to look, the rough way it used to look.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily realistic. Davis Love, the consulting architect, him and Scott Sherman were on the Fried Egg Pod talking about getting that a couple weeks ago, getting that back. I think like the main focus that they need agronomically, I feel like they are trying to grow beautiful grass instead of trying to prepare the world's greatest playing surface. And that's
unequivocally, yes, true.
It's a distinct difference. It doesn't mean it needs to be rough. It can still look really beautiful. Maintain it as a playing surface, though. It is like they maintain it as like this. It's just this lush green soft. It's not. It's maintained. Like you have to understand that you're trying. The playing surface and the playing characteristics of the playing surface do not match the level of the tournament that they're putting on, and it's sad.
I wouldn't say it's a abomination, but
no,
yeah,
it's not an abomination. It's just
not
it's not. It looks on TV.
What's a made for TV brand
on TV,
at this point?
It looks world class.
Yeah,
but it does not play world class. And I just don't know. I don't know if they got the people in the room that understand what playing world class means.
Maybe not. Although,
I think
keeps
they're
identifying world class players as a winner, but that's the course. That's the beauty of the course.
Just my one thing. It's not about the overseed or not overseed. It's not about the rugged look of the nature. Just make the playing surface play like the best, like they do. They spare no expense for this. Spare it for the sake of we are providing the greatest playing surface, not just the lushest, most beautiful looking course. Like they've tried, like what they get wrong is like Augusta, when they get the weather right and it's Thursday, that place is it is as firm and as fast as Rye can play. And they choose it, but like we've never seen this place do that
in March for sure,
because they don't prepare it to be a playing surface. They prepare it to be a TV product,
a TV stage.
So anyway,
which is what
that's
it is.
my agronomic rant.
We say all this, and I've never been. I'm just in love with the course. I'm so fired up for this week. The field, I think, is there. I know the bottoms, and the course is perfect. Maybe that's just how we've been beaten down with PGA Tour. Like you are so jacked up to just watch the course, but it's not. We watch this every year, and it's you get.
We're bearing our gambling podcast strongest, picker
performer. Are you glad you pulled up a chair?
I'm very
because you were hunched over, ready to give your pick about 20 minutes ago.
Over. I'm glad you guys took that 20-minute turn because I have nothing new to add. I'm taking Colin Morikawa.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
It's a chalky pick.
I don't think he's going to win, but I think this is the highest floor available that is not maybe Scotty.
Gambling tip from a gambling pod, one and done. there's just going to be all these people in on him. So
Yes.
you're not zagging into like a
No,
a
but
nice
this is not the
random
time to
bucket.
zag.
I
You
know.
need.
I know.
It's too early to play the zag thing. You need to just be stacking good finishes. You can't worry about where you are in the standings if you're in one and done right now.
And if you're interested in zagging, the actual gambling pod, love Daniel Berger.
What's
all in on
What's the
Daniel
actual
Berger.
gambling pot?
I like Dan. I think Daniel Berger.
Oh, you like Berger?
I
Yeah.
love Daniel Berger.
Oh, okay.
I'm all
right.
in on Daniel Berger.
Well, you know what I also love is Good Walk Coffee every morning, and we have a sweep. Don't go far. You're gonna have to clarify the ad read details
let
here.
me get the details.
We have a sweepstakes of sorts. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you could be eligible for a whole year's worth of coffee. We're gonna do a random winner. You gotta be a subscriber to the newsletter. Not a subscriber to the coffee. That would be redundant, I would think.
You sign up at thefriedegg.com.
Yep.
Thefriedegg.com. There's a little bar right on the middle of the screen.
Somewhere in there.
It says sign up for our free newsletter.
You are in the newsletter. We get your email. We get your social security number, your address. We got the whole thing.
We don't get those.
I'm kidding. Illegal, which we don't have.
We
but it's
just
not a real thing.
get email and we send you
We'll send you an email.
meaningful golf updates 3 days a week. It is not. It's the newsletter is designed to. It's a piece of content that comes to you. It's like this.
It's not a link
this
aggregation.
podcast. It is a crafted piece of writing that is supposed to keep you abreast to everything going on in the world of golf.
And if you subscribe, if you are a subscriber, you are eligible for a 1-year subscription. That we're going to draw a name out of a hat, digital hat.
I'm supposed to say that the link is going to be in the show notes. If you're listening to this, I can put it in the YouTube description if you're watching this.
Okay, you do
but that was very important.
Is this when we say hammer subscribe?
Hammer that
Lock
like
it
button,
in. No.
smash that subscribe
Swipe up,
button,
subscribe.
and hit the description.
Hit the heart
to subscribe to the newsletter.
All right, you do that. You could get Good Walk Coffee. If you don't win the subscription, you could subscribe yourself and support the pod.
We got to call a spade a spade.
goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun.
We got to get out ahead of this.
What?
With the Good Walk promo. I want to get out ahead of this.
What?
We remember we've maligned the free coffee for a year. We maligned what the free beer is for a year.
Oh, because it's 1 beer a day. It's like 30 cases, right? Yeah, Pilsner.
I want to be very clear here. This is 1 bag of coffee a month.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
We don't know how much coffee somebody drinks, you know?
What if we up it to 2? Can we do that, or can we overcommitting ourselves on the air right now?
Listen, you're gonna get me in trouble with business.
Pete's not gonna.
But we can up it to 2. You put me on the spot. I'm gonna up it to 2
bags.
And listen, if Pete's got a problem, he could dock it from my pay.
I won't eat lunch twice this week, and we'll up it to 2. We'll that's
2
fine.
bags.
All right.
2 bags. That's the subscription I'm on.
I'm gonna avoid,
if I'm just drinking coffee, I'm a moderate coffee drinker. Maybe skewing to a lot of coffee. That's 2 bags is plenty for me a month. But if I have guests come in, then it throws my whole number off.
Goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun. Go subscribe. Subscribe to the newsletter. Go ahead.
Well, you just subscribe to the newsletter. You can win. Then subscribe to coffee.
Then you subscribe.
If you don't win, subscribe to the coffee.
There you go.
And if you don't do that, you can sign up for our fried egg event at Lostonia.
There you go.
That's
one
on
more
sale
ad
for
read.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, PJ,
while we're asking for stuff.
Any other observations from walking around?
I was actually just going to take the mic out of Andy's head because we need to talk about this. I did my
first time here, right? First time with the players. What are your impressions?
I mean, after seeing this course on TV for my entire life, it was very cool to like walk around today. It was definitely. I'm very excited for this tournament. I'm very excited to be here. I did do a little merch tent scouting. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the hat. Have you seen that?
What's the hat?
Okay, all right. So I did some scouting after last year's year in review. I wanted to get a Gold Boy turnover chain. That was important to me. I really, really wanted this. It's gone. I think we might have made.
You got your $50 gift card.
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, so we're gonna go back. Maybe they haven't added them in yet.
Yeah.
Can I integrate here? You're going to the fan shop merch tent. Masters fact of the day from our guy Bama Bearcat. Follow him on Twitter at Bama Bearcat.
That's
Masters
a pro transition.
Fact of the day. This is a real major Masters fact of the day. As late as 1970s, Augusta National Golf Club sold merch out of the guard shack on Magnolia Drive to curious sightseers. I think that's Magnolia Lane. To curious sightseers during non-Masters weeks. Non-Masters weeks, they're selling merch at the guard
That's a
shack.
brilliant idea.
On the as late as the 1970s.
Now people just go to eBay. It's a secondary market. They could own it if they just had a little master shop outside.
Why the press got banned from the Clubhouse Pro Shop because people were reselling the putters on the eBay. That's the
secondhand market.
Yeah. So, anyways, fact of the day: they were selling it out of the shack, the security shack, on non-Masters week. What'd you get in the fan shop?
Oh, I didn't get anything yet.
I gotta say, one of the things that PJ discovered to me should be removed from the fan shop tomorrow. It's one of the creepiest things that pieces of merchandise I've ever seen.
Hazard water. It can't get any weirder than that.
All right, let PJ.
This is a hat. I'll describe it. I tweeted it as I'll tweet it as well.
It's a sentence.
It's
a demand.
Oh, it is. The period. The period is what sets it over the top. It's a white hat. They had it in a couple different colors, but the picture I took is a white rope hat that has a sentence on it of "Meet me at 17." Period. I think it reads like a threat, personally.
Yeah.
I think it's just like kind of creepy.
When are you wearing that? Are you wearing that, in civilian life outside of the tournament?
Anybody that's walking
17?
Anybody that's walking around a tournament with a hat that says "Meet me at 17."
Period. Punctuation on the hat.
I want no interest in meeting them anywhere at all, anywhere. In any walk of life, I do not want to meet that person.
Well, there's a lot of people walking around at golf tournaments with different merch on that I want no part to do with. They might have big letters on their hat.
There was only one big letter hat. It simply just said golf. If you're into that,
creative, original. Why?
I don't.
They lean into the 17 brand.
There's so much
there.
17 Island Green. There's like 9 different variations of a 17 hat, but this takes the cake to me.
Scary.
PJ, so you've been in there.
So how much was it?
As a media member, we get $50 gift cards. How are you looking? Early signs. How are you looking to allocate your $50? You're a very seasoned merch and memorabilia shopper.
No, this is I don't know. I'm contemplating. Do I just cash in on the "Meet Me at 17" hat just to take one off the street?
Oh my God!
Do take one for society.
Just
removing one.
Just trying to get these drugs off the street. Let me put them in my pocket here. No.
Removing one bad actor. Just putting it on a shelf at home, never looking at it again. But that way somebody else can't.
I got a follow-up question. Where in the world do you think they're shipping the surplus "Meet Me at 17" hats that they don't sell?
This feels like
there was TGL merch though. That was my other favorite part. You could buy a hat. You could buy a hat for any TGL team. If you need to get geared up,
the TGL in his press conference.
Yeah, geared up before the playoffs on Tuesday.
I got a Frog Squad shirt that I might wear one day.
I brought that. It doesn't say. There's no affiliation of TGL. It doesn't say Boston. Doesn't say Common. Just says Frog Squad on it. Could just be any frogs.
PJ's the only member of this pod that hasn't gotten kitted out by his NYGC team.
Seems like you're thirstily.
Steve. Hello.
All right, so we got 2 more Morikawas and a who'd you take again? Tommy Fleetwood. All right. I like it. Those are our picks. Anything else on the golf course? They've added yards to a bunch of par 5s. Lamagna wrote it up. They got the tree in.
Well, you could get a lot of Lamagna's insights from the week. He's going to be out here.
Fried Egg newsletter.
And when you sign up for that Fried Egg newsletter, you also could win 2 bags of coffee per month. Business Pete.
I jammed it. Business Pete.
He's going to have it. I'm going to get an angry text in the morning.
We're going broke with that
drive
extra
ahead of him, and
extra bag of coffee.
I'm going to see him. Luckily for business Pete, for relationship's sake, I've got a little gift for Business Pete here. So
What's
he's
that?
gonna.
You're gonna put a little smile on his face when he gets there.
Got something
with
that's gonna
gift?
put a smile
All right,
on his
good.
face.
Love that
From our friends at the Illinois basketball program.
Oh, good. Love that. A Big Ten tournament week. I feel bad we pulled PJ out of New York when the Johnnies are finally in contention at MSG for the Big East
Do you
tournament.
have tickets to
He's
that?
down in the swamp. Yeah, he has tickets. This is home game. Johnny's top 5 team in the country.
Well, hopefully they get knocked out early.
Well, this is my consolation is that theoretically, hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to Providence and Newark for the first 2 rounds, which are drivable for me. So that's
already
that's
putting
my
them in the
hope.
second weekend. All
That's my
right,
hope.
I see.
I've been eyeing regional sites, but I think I'm kind of I think I'm
Tapped
probably
out
going to
on
be tapped out on
That
travel.
would not be a good.
I was hoping
advisable to mix
I was
that in.
hoping for a Bay Area regional
Hey,
site.
should we talk about Jay talking for an hour? We never really hit on anything. I don't know that there was a lot of meat on
we
the
got plenty of
pace
in the
of
tank.
play is now speed of play. They said they're going to name names, but then they walked it back. They might not name names. They're looking at rangefinders will be in 6 events. He says we need to expand our content. We're going to expand our content as part of the Fan Forward initiative. I think they just laid off a lot of people, right? That would help with that. He had a disruption has led to innovation. It's led to the momentum, innovation. We got better, disruption, Fan Forward, this, that, and the other. He said, we appreciate Yasser's innovative vision. And we can see a future where we welcome him to our board and work together.
Doesn't appreciate Yasser's innovative vision enough in Yasser's mind.
Yeah. To move the global game forward. As part of our negotiations, we believe there's room to integrate important aspects of Live Golf into the PGA Tour platform. He would not elaborate on that at all or what that meant. No team golf, didn't say this, that, no player. But he did think there are important aspects to integrate. We're doing everything we can to bring the 2 sides together. That's so we will not do so in a way that diminishes the strength of our platform or the very real momentum we have with our fans and our partners. It is real. It is real. They've said, I don't know if they're hot, but they're doing all right. So while we've removed some hurdles, others remain. But like our fans, we still share the same sense of urgency to get a resolution. Our team is fully committed to reunification. The only deal that we would regret is one that compromises the essence of what makes the game of golf. That sounds like individual stroke play 72-hole tournaments to me, and the PGA Tour as exceptional. Compromises the essence of what makes the game of golf, and the PGA Tour is exceptional. So I would just say this is now the markets are down today, which is this is a far cry from just every year. This thing has been sort of a
gobbledygook. Yeah,
but it's also been like tense. It's like they're uncertain of their future. They're insecure about what they're saying. Who's looking around the room? Who's coming? Who's going? Who's on our side? Who's not on our side? There was the pandemic year. There was a year that Phil had just done the Shipnuck interview that came out. There was a year Cam Smith's the defending champion, but MIA. There was the year that they had just announced how signature events were going to be, and all the mules were fired up and hot. Like they did that like Bay Hill week and then into this week.
Didn't they have the players only meeting?
Yes, the mules, the mules,
mule meeting.
The word mules was born at the players Ryan Armour interview with Golf Digest. So it's just been like this 5-year circus of tension where like the golf kind of didn't matter, and it would by Sunday night, but like the week was sort of this occasion to congregate and talk about what was wrong and all the shit that's scary that could be going on and who they're losing and who they might lose. And this just feels like there was a lot of psychoanalysis of it. It just felt like a little bit of a different tone, right? I don't know if they're like Yasser could double down and say, I'm taking this guy for $400 million and this guy for, and then they're back to that. But he feels like a little, maybe Trump has changed the dynamic.
I think
but they're just kind of good.
I think the other aspect of it is they're really confident in their top 3 players not going anywhere.
Right.
And they also saw that Jon Rahm did literally nothing for viewership. Yeah. Again, I would be really confident if my opposing league on opening night went to night golf and netted 12,000 viewers.
So,
I'd feel pretty good too.
Yeah, you wonder if like they're okay without like we could take a couple guys back. We don't like Yasser out there. We want him in the fold. It was just a different kind of now after they got the Q&A, he was not good. He was terrible, but not terrible. He was fine. He was just deflecting.
He was deflecting. Look around and smile. He was
no. Well, that was all in the scripted opening monologue, which wasn't bad. But he just, anyways, it's interesting. I don't want to say the PGA Tour is hot, but they're like, we've re-signed this partner, we've re-upped with these title sponsors, our ratings are up.
The Morgan Stanley AI sponsorship.
It feels like a good week for the tour, and I think they're a little more secure in the players, I would say, right? Every week the players is sort of, I don't want to say it's not doomy, but there's been like anxiety about how it was going to be, right? And now it's just like, we don't need to do all this. It is what it is. There's almost fatigue from like, I don't want to talk about this shit, like who could go, what the deal is, not the deal. And it's like, I just want to watch like a great field on an awesome pro golf test at this point, right? You're like kind of fatigued from that. So anyways, maybe they're done. Maybe they don't want to do a deal anymore. Maybe they got their fan forward insights. They know they got to get like, Liv did make the tour better. I think that's sort of inarguable, right? I mean, that they're trying to get better. I think they're working to get.
Well, Phil.
I saw him tweeting about that.
Yeah.
He's like, I think they're actually probably working pretty hard to get better, but could all be bullshit. Who knows? It's probably a new era. Anyways, different tone from Jay.
Last piece of news.
Yeah.
Tiger ruptures his Achilles.
Everybody had to declare it's over. He needs to retire. I don't know. Guys, he's injured everything.
He's injured everything. Since he got in the car accident, we're at a different stage of what Tiger is. And you know what? If anybody in the game of golf has earned the right to go out on their own terms, it's Tiger Woods.
Achilles is not an easy good
No,
one.
it was in the leg that is
not in good shape.
Yeah, this is the leg that was
yeah.
So you know what? Like, did I have any high hopes of Tiger contending at anything this year? No, I didn't.
No.
Do I have any high hopes of him contending anything next year? No. The one thing that I'm still somewhat interested in is how long can he make the made cut streak at the Masters go?
Yeah,
I think that's super cool.
Yep.
And that's going to be, whether I'm not really expecting 83 or anything like that. I just like to see him go out and play 2 days of golf and make cuts when he hasn't played any golf. And I'm curious how much longer that will go.
Yep.
So wish him a speedy recovery.
Not great.
Yeah.
So it's terrible. Like it's awful.
Awful injury.
Yeah. I think that does it. Is there any Jim Furyk? Remember when he was runner-up to Rory? Is there anybody off the board you would take in the Furyk role? Maybe we'll save that for Thursday or Friday episode. That's what I love about this place. Could get an old guy slapping it around. Furyk versus Rory.
The best option, Ernie, the senior players champion, didn't show up.
I know. Isn't that a bummer? Jerry Kelly wouldn't have passed on it.
I think he's just a dignitary. He doesn't want to take a spot from a young guy.
All right. I think that does it for this Wednesday episode. We are pumped to be here. We're going to do live Thursday in person, probably after play or as plays winding down something. Fingers crossed for PJ. Don't want to put him through the blender on that. But we're pumped. We'll be here through the weekend. Excited to be back at the Players Championship. Talk to you guys on Friday.